And, I mean, an interesting thing about student businesses, that's a disrespectful term, but a business that a PhD student might start, often there'll be no money. What is the process of starting a business with diddly squat?
I think you've got to be very careful. There is an awful lot of business you can start with no money. The target, that's the target audience, the table, the telephone. It really is about finding customers, finding clients. So service-based industries, much easier to set up in terms of cost, regulatory, compliance issues. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it takes time to develop the pipeline. That's a word I'll come back to later. It takes time to develop the pipeline, the opportunities, just to bid and to win money. Setting up a product business does take money. So if you're going to take on Google or you're going to take on Amazon, it's taken them a long time to, first of all, set the business up, to develop the services. It takes time to get that, recoup that money, but that does involve, in the term that we use in business, is deep pockets to ensure that gets going. So be very clear when you're setting up a business, am I selling a product or am I selling a service? There are always pluses and minuses, and we've all got different interests. But the product takes longer, but then once it's successful, it's money while you sleep. It becomes an annuity business. You've developed it once, you sell it many times. It's a very different type of business than the service-based model, which needs generally a lot less money to start off with. So be very clear, A, what you're going into business to sell, and why you're doing it, and what type of business you want.
Yeah. And I suppose it's worth saying that some businesses are product and service businesses.
Yeah.
So a famous example, a company like Rolls-Royce, it doesn't make cars these days. Its big business is selling jet engines for aircraft, but it actually makes most of its money off the service end. So it sells it sells these great big jet engines, but then most of the turnover, most of the profit comes from engineering services, consultancy services, repair, that kind of thing. Yeah. So businesses can be both.
I think you've identified a good piece, Bill. It's the portfolio. Yeah. So it's the balance. The trouble in life is, and I've seen this with a lot of US-based companies, that they go in with all the great intent. We want to be a services company. We want to be a product company. They get something of a hybrid, but the priorities change. Business, there's always a core pulling you. There's a gravitational pull to go. Some people are the dominance of the individual. So with all the best intent, it starts off as we want a portfolio product, but actually what happens is a group of, or a cadre of people come together and say, I want to sell services, I want to sell products, and that can lead to tension, and that's a nice problem to have, but portfolio is not always the answer.